All right, chat. Before we DC'd, well, before my internet died, there was a VoD review redemption by Spitfire 2K6. Obviously, I'm not going to reveal the rank. He's a DPS player. He wants to have better target selection and positioning. We're currently playing on Rialto, and right now, the team of the team of our boy is currently Bastion, Sen, Anna, Orisa, and Hanzo. And the enemy team, we got Symmetra, we got Cole, Baptiste, Doomfist, and we don't really know what this is, but yeah, we're gonna be looking at this real quick. Target selection and positioning. It is your job. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying because it is my job, right? And it just disrupts the flow. But let's focus on this VoD, see what we can do. And no need to gift subs. I'll be fine. Give me 40 minutes and I'll be up and running again. Never ever, even though you have sentry form, never ever play up in front, right? This is something that we discussed last night. We reviewed a Bastion main. They were playing on New York or whatever that map is, and it comes back to the sole thing is that if you're gonna do something aggressive like this, I would rather that you use your left click to bother the Doomfist, who's literally out of position, by the way. I mean, if you look at this, he should die in an instant. And what I want you to do instead is that I'd rather you play back a little bit. I want you to poke at the Doomfist, force him to use his cooldowns early, and then I want you to sentry form. The reason why we do this is that so the Doomfist cannot stop you and cannot just stand in front of you and block all your damage to get a charge punch. Instead, it's so much better for you to focus on the Doomfist, make sure that he pops all his defensive cooldowns, and then if you want to take an aggressive angle, you have to do it around a pillar. You can't stand out in the open like this because the offset that you even get a kill, you are guaranteed dead, right? So what does that kill give us? It doesn't give us that much, to be honest. If it's a 5v4 and you get a kill early, okay, that's fair enough. But if it's a 5v4 and you put yourself in this position and you die, your team is not going to be able to do anything with the kill that you got, right? So you need to play a little bit smarter. You need to get Doomfist off your team. You need to make sure that he uses all his defensive cooldowns, and then we pop sentry form, right? That's the most important part, because the more understanding that you have of the enemy team's cooldowns as you move into sentry form, the more value that we get out of it. So being up this close and personal and playing like this is really, really bad in terms of positioning. So I'd rather you play back instead. There we go. You heard him? Gift now? No. Save your money, chat. I'd rather you guys buy yourself a nice sandwich or something. You guys can just watch me and be here. That's all that I need. Okay, do you understand a little bit more what I was talking about? You popped your sentry form, and you did it in such an angle that the enemy team could literally just sidestep away from you, wait for your sentry form to go out, and then they re-peek you, right? You need to find angles where your sentry form gets value, regardless of them knowing where you are or not, okay? Does that make sense? So, when you pop your sentry form this early, and you start harassing them, you might get a kill every once in a blue moon, but that's not really how you want to play it. Instead, you want to isolate the enemy team, force them into a bad positioning, and then use your sentry form, right? So, if I was you, which I'm not, but if I was you, I would actually take the time to go high ground here. I would go all the way up here, right? And I would wait a little bit, and as soon as some of your team starts fighting or whatever, or they start popping out here, I would rather wait here and start, popping them a little bit. Force them into a really bad angle, and if your tank is with you, you can then jump down with sentry form and surprise them, right? Playing Bastion like this, where you're kind of like hugging the corners with sentry form, is okay, but you need to make sure that you do it in an angle where your sentry form gets value, even though that they start hiding, right? Popping it right now is really bad, and the reason why I say this is, how about this? Imagine that I'm the Cole player, right? You pop sentry form early. What do you think I'm going to do when your sentry form is over? What do you think is going to happen?
I will sub though iddqd.
That's the mindset that you need to have. Murder me. Exactly. Because now you're no longer a threat to me, right? You popped your sentry form, and you're no longer a threat. and you're dead. And that's kind of like how I try and coach people, right? I try to not just prepare you for your own rank, but I'm also preparing you for what's to come, right? So while it might make sense to you in an extent to be like, yeah, but Sentry Form here might get me a kill. Yeah, but it won't when you start ranking up. So I'm trying to prepare you for what's to come as well. So I kind of just want to point that out. That's 2 position errors that I've seen thus far. Just trying to make you a better player, my dude. And also, thank you so much, Black Forest, for the 2 months. I appreciate you. No more subs! Fucking lazy! You held that angle for way too long. Way too long. I'm talking maximum 2 seconds. Maximum. No longer than that. If you do not get any value, we don't stay there and we continue to harass, right? You literally move away, right? That grenade was meant for you. It hit your send instead. If that if that Cold player hit you once in the chest with the nade, or he found the hammer close up, you would have been dead. We do not linger. This is bad. Don't do this, right? I would rather you move away. Yo, what's up, Catchy? How you doing? Thanks so much for the 45 months. Holy shit. How you doing, by the way? You doing alright? Okay, you got a little bit surrounded there. Your Orisa died. Yeah. Thank you so much, Cam. Appreciate the 45. Eternity with the 10 months. Okay. Chat, listen. I know that you guys love to do the opposite of what I tell you to do. Okay? I know that you love to. But for all that is holy, I mean what I say. Save your cash. Buy yourself something nice instead. And just watch and enjoy the VoD review with the rest of us. Alright? Appreciate you, though. Hold on. Sorry, chat. I saw a message in the chat and I kind of just want to gift them a sub real quick. There you go, buddy. If you're that broke, I got you, buddy. Carnal Caroline, I'm gonna give sub to Eric. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Meteor strike.
Small thing. Never ever peek hit scan when there's a Baptiste wall up, okay? Never do that. You got lucky here. Never do this, okay? Just wait it out. It's completely fine. It's just 6 seconds on the clock. No big deal. Wait the wall out, then re-peek, okay? Don't do this, right? It's not good. And again, we need to start using high ground a little bit more, I think. You have to kind of like utilize it a little bit more because, I mean, if you look where your Orisa is right now, right? And you look where your Hanzo is, you're further back, you peeked, you got hit, you're almost dead, so now you gotta wait for the heal, right? That's downtime. I would much rather you wait for the wall to go down, be full HP, take a high ground position, wait for your Orisa to throw a jab or press R45 and move in, and you have completely free reign from up top, right? Bastion is all about timing, right? That's what it comes down to. That's all he is. If you don't play around his cooldowns properly, you're not going to get any value. So you might as well play it safe, poke a little bit if you have to, but if you're going to take a high ground position, we don't make any sound, we wait, we go up, wait for Orisa to engage, and then we hop out with Sentry Form. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're out in the open, right? The statue's not going to help them, and they're going to have to deal with a Sentry Form Bastion that does like 200 DPS. So why not utilize high ground, which is the most overpowered thing on this map alone, right? So I'm just trying to like make you think differently how you engage these fights, because you can legitimately solo carry. You can legitimately solo carry from this perspective. You just have to know where to be and how to utilize your cooldowns, right? And right now we're not really thinking about that. Instead, we're kind of just poking and hoping for the best. So I'm trying to give you like an out, right? If you actually play this differently, if you go up all the way high ground, wait for your Orisa to engage, Sentry Form up top, you will get tons and tons of value. Right? Try and utilize that next time you play this map. Yeah, face pollution, thanks so much for giving yourself to Grok. Appreciate you, buddy. No more fucking subs! I'm gonna fucking read! That kind of jump scared me. That was super loud. No heals? Yeah, a little bit tough. Don't repeat. Don't repeat a cult. Don't, no. Okay, not a third time, brother. It's iffy to repeat twice, but 3 times? Okay, decent ult. Okay, that's okay, right? You repeat because you knew they were low HP after your ult. That's fine. Why are we center forming here with 15 HP? Okay. Don't worry, chat. I see the ads. I see the ads. No worries. I will wait. All right. We wait for the ads for the non-subs. Perfect. If they're done, then we resume. Okay. Feedback. Yeah, non-subs, we're waiting for you, right? Educational content should be for everyone, so we always pause the VoD and then we wait for the ads to be over so everyone can get the feedback. It's not just for the subs. Educational is for everyone, so we waited for you. Don't worry. And we're going to continue waiting for you when there's ads. Giga Chad. Okay. So, obviously, I think you kind of figure out from a third perspective now when you see this back. It's not ideal to re-peak with 15 HP. I can guarantee you, at a high rank, people will not forget that you're still playing over there, right? Even popping ult there is kind of risky, because if I play on this map, right, and I know that I, busted a nut on your face, and you're 15 HP, and you're hiding around a corner, you pop ultimate, you'd be damn fucking sure I'm waiting for you, right? I'm gonna wait for you. And that's how easy it's gonna be. And I don't really like that you kind of re-peak with sentry form. It looked like to me like you got a little bit frustrated and you kind of got chipped down to 15 and then you kind of wanted to re-engage with sentry form to get a kill. But the reality of the situation is it's actually not a good play. Even though I can tell that you kind of playing frustrated, you should actually go around and kind of like play it more safe. It worked out this time, but I can guarantee you it's not going to work in a high rank.
My ultimate is charging.
Don't pop sentry form just yet. Hold it. Okay. I mean, fine. Fine. Small misplay for the sole purpose that I would rather that you play the angle, wait a little bit, see where they're at, then pop sentry form, right? You should always know where your enemy is before you pop sentry form. Popping it around a corner could just lead to them literally being around cover and you can't do anything about it. They wait you out and then they jump on the payload and then you're standing there like, with your pants down, right? So, small misplay. If you're going to pop sentry form, you kind of just have to go around a corner, peek, see what you see. If they're standing in front of you, okay, fine. Go around a corner, sentry form, then pop out, right? Never pop like sentry form prematurely like this because a good player will hear it or, on B, see it and then hide and then wait and then jump in when it's over. Gotta be a little bit careful here. The Doomfist could jump over and push you out. Don't charge the Doomfist. Yeah, you're probably dead. Yeah, we don't want to charge the Doomfist fist unless we necessarily have to, right? Sombra?
In my world, there are no secrets.
Okay.
Systems hacked. Hey, catch! Payload stalled.
Ready for another.
I'm the boss now.
Not a bad hack. Good patience. Another good hack. Okay. Not bad. Patience paid off.
You're mine now.
Soldier 76 reporting for duty.
No vaya a ser que lo necesite.
So, two things. one, check around the corner, see who's there, right? And if you see two people, you wait slightly to get them separated, right? And most often than not, you want to shoot the person who's further back, right? If you start shooting in their line of sight, all they need to do is just turn their mouse a little bit to the right, and then both are looking at you, right? All it takes is one lucky sleep or a headshot from the Ash, like you saw, to basically get you out of the game, right? So, two things. You want to play from behind. Take the extra time. You're Invis, right? So go around, play over here instead. Make them do a 180 if they have to, right? Never ever make it easy for the enemy team to try and kill a Sombra. In this particular case, you should have focused on the healer first, for obvious reasons, and you should have done it from the back, right? Doing it in front of their face like this is too sketchy, and you'll find yourself getting randomly headshot like this way often than not. So if you really, really want to do this trade, which I don't recommend, I would rather you play further back with your Orisa and try and hack the Doomfist. But if you really, really want to do this, you have to do it from the back, and you have to go for the healer first.
60 seconds remaining. Team kill.
Let's get back online. ¿Extrañaste? System compromised. Much better.
Enemy to move payload.
Decent hack. Oh my god, we are far away. Translocate over the wall, EMP. Fun fact, do you know what I'm talking about when I say over the wall, Spitfire, right? You know what that is, right? It's on the right side up on the staircase. It would have been a perfect opportunity for you to actually come back in Invis, translocate over the wall, get up on the staircase right here, and get a perfect EMP in. You could have done that, because taking the long way around like this could be a sticky situation, because it's a 5v4 effectively, right? Until you get back. That actually cuts down the time from you going from point A to point B here. And it would have been a perfect opportunity to get an EMP in. I mean, you can kind of see how the enemy team is positioned right now, and it would have been perfect. You would have hit the Ash, you probably would have hit the Doomfist, you would have hit the Cole, and their Ana is just like under the bridge there, might have hit her too. So I kind of wanted just to make a point there that there was a better play that you could have done here. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen here. I'm pretty sure Doomfist is going to die and you win this fight regardless, but I'm just pointing it out that it could have been a perfect opportunity to EMP prematurely like that to start the fight. So just want to point that out. This isn't a misplay by any means. They just, you know, it just happens to be that there was another play that was slightly better.
Apagando las luces.
Okay. I mean, we don't want to talk about it, do we, Spitfire? We kind of just want to move on. We don't need to talk about this, right? No? Okay. We can just move on. Nice kill on the Kiriko. Nice kill on the Doomfist. You have a good target priority on Sombra, I have to say. It's not bad.
Tactical visor activated.
Let's get the payload going.
I've got meds. Who needs
Wait for him to use his, okay. When you're fighting a Doomfist like that, you can harass him until he uses his, like, you know, slams his fists together, and then you can hack him, right? Good hack. Really, really good hack. Good kill on the Ana, good patience.
Much better.
Meet your fate. Complete.
Alright, much better. I usually cover those things blank at the end of the VoD. Because I collect things that I see a lot. I'll try not to hammer the same point over and over again. I try and focus on like new things. And then at the end of the VoD, I will make a summary. where they can always just go back to the VoD and, you know, kind of get a checklist, if you will, where they can just be like, oh, okay, this is what I was supposed to work on. We do a little summary at the end. Intermission music.
Ready
Tools
for
in
battle.
hand, brain in gear.
Remember, if you want me to heal you, stand very still. But also, avoid the bullets.
Will we ever rid the world of evil, Zenyatta?
As long as there is free will, I fear there will be evil.
But denying free will is also evil.
Quite a puzzle, isn't it?
Five, 4, 3, 2,
Heads cold and
Here's your intermission music.
stop the payload.
get into the field. Hurting my turret. Thanks, what the hell?
You're up against the Pharah, right? So the Pharah is gonna always destroy your turret. So in this particular case, it's always going to be better in a way to position your turret like not obviously and not like in an obvious position, but in a way where you can always get some sort of value before it gets chipped down, right? I think the biggest issue with positioning it right there is that it doesn't really do much damage, and it's very easy for the enemy team to just chip it down without having to take damage from it, right? Torb isn't necessarily bad on defense here, but I would rather that you play your turret a little bit further back, and it can kind of work as a way or a means for you to sort of figure out where the Pharah is, right? Because it has aimbot, right? So it will constantly shoot at, you know, whatever target it sees first, and if the Pharah peeks, you can always like get an indication of where the turret is shooting. So you kind of use it as a, not a wall hack, but more so to figure out where the Pharah is in the air. If you crouch spam there while shooting at the ash, she most probably would have missed you.
Thanks. Hey, it's
I
Keiko.
still have some fight in me. Engage those hostiles.
You monster, who goes out on the left side?
Enemy here.
You can tell that this guy is new at the game, LMAO. Why is that funny? Glazen, why is that funny? I mean, these people are obviously, you know, sending in a public replay to be criticized in a public space, so you guys get content, and I also get to help these people out to get better at the game, right? Why is that funny? I'm trying to see the joke in this. Like, these people are literally, like, being criticized in a public space, which is probably nerve-wracking enough. And why are we chugging at them for wanting to get better? I don't get it. There's very few things that I can tolerate. Just absolute needless toxicity like this is not one of them, alright? Fair warning. If anyone else does shit like that, you're out. You can go and hang out with a streamer that your personality fits with. Don't do that shit here. Don't do that shit here. Alright? Fair warning. This is the only one you're getting. To anyone else who wants to be a fucking cunt, go right ahead.
Turning up the heat.
Personally, Spitfire, I'm gonna be honest with you. You would have gotten infinitely more value if you played it. That's a long cloak. That's a long fucking cloak. Holy shit. I never knew it was that long. Damn. Alright, well, fair enough. You would have gotten infinitely more value if you kind of put your turret down around here, this area right there, and you kind of use this LOS to kind of like shoot above. Because, believe it or not, right, Torb's bullets do a lot of damage. They're very slow. but they're also projectiles, right? But also what we can do, if you spam them in this direction, you press your E, you can, for what it's worth, do a lot of damage from this angle, right? But you can kind of do it from a safe space. To me personally, if there was any other tank that you were up against, I probably wouldn't mind you pressing E and like going in with like the, you know, loading your shotgun with malicious intent and just going in there and right clicking. I don't mind that. However, against a Doomfist, and I would argue that Doomfist is really good at countering you doing this, is that all he needs to do is just pound his fucking fist together and then he takes no damage from you and you're kind of out in the open, right? Instead, I think you play this a little bit smarter. I mean, your soldier has the right idea, where you kind of put your turret down here and you kind of just fucking spam around the payload, spam around the corners or whatever, and I think that's just way better to play it that way, right? Not only do you build ultimate faster because your turret gets a lot more value, but it's a little bit too risky to go in here, in my opinion, and the sole reason why I say that, right, is because your healers can't really get to you, right? They can't do much. Now, let's be completely honest. Your healers haven't really been healing you this much this entire game, so, you know, credit where credit is due. They haven't really done their job properly, but it does give them a little bit of an easier way to heal you when you're kind of like, you know, out in the open instead of being around a corner. So, you know, kind of have to play a little bit more in their LOS there.
There is pride in...
A Lindholm never gives up.
Okay, Torb. Okay.
Meteor strike.
That's a better turret positioning. Slightly better. There was no need for us to leave high ground there. That is the one thing I want to point out. There was no need for you to leave high ground there. I think it would have been better if you played high ground. Just kind of like use your turret as a meat shield a little bit. There's no saying that you would have survived, but it would have been better. Nice headshot.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Team kill. In my world, there are no secrets.
Okay. Playing Sombra. The only thing I'm oh, Sombra? You good? The only thing I'm gonna mention about that ultimate is that I very much enjoy having Torbjorn's ultimate be sort of a engage ultimate. Does that make sense? I think the way you should look around Molten Core is more of an engagement instead of like a mid or a late game ult for later in the fight. Does that make sense? It seemed to me like you already had an idea of like wanting to swap, but I think Molten Cum should be used more as an engagement instead of in the middle of the fight, right? Yeah, small little thing, but I kind of want to point it out nonetheless. Okay.
Did I scare you?
Nah, you're fine. Okay. Not a bad hack. You have 16 HP. Yep.
Really much. You're mine now.
To pieces. Ready for a knockout?
System.
You don't have a translocator.
My gift to you.
Hack complete.
Oh, you're dead. If Cassidy throws his nade on you and you have translocator up, you can actually avoid the damage by translocating a short distance just to avoid the damage from happening. I don't know if you knew that, but it's a small little trick that you can do. And I hate the fact that I'm giving other people tips against Cole. But yeah, it's just a small little tip where you can do that. Also, got to make sure that you're always reloaded before you come out of stealth, right? It's a small little thing. Another thing that I'm seeing a lot, and this is something that you're going to get punished for a lot in a high rank, is that you kind of put your translocator in the open, right? You're not really masking it, or I don't know, for whatever reason you're not doing it, but like hypothetically speaking, you kind of like put it on the health pack like this, right? And you have to understand one thing. Every time you translocate, it kind of gives a vision of what direction you went. And since there's one hacked health pack here, and your translocator is right in the middle of it, it's not very hard for the enemy team to figure out kind of like where you're going. If you're gonna like do this in the future, I would rather you kind of put it in the corner like this where it's like out of LOS, right? So no one can actually see it. Try and do that a little bit more when you play Sombra. Target priority on Sombra is pretty good though, and your aim is pretty decent as well, so I have no complaints there. But how do you even see? Like, what's going on here? How do you even see out of that thing? I had no idea we're playing Hogwarts. I thought we were playing Overwatch, but okay. That's kind that's kind of funny.
Tactical visor activated.
Get ready.
They really have it out for me.
Nano boost administered.
Yeah, you're not getting a lot of heals, are you?
Let the kitsune guide you.
Complete.
They've got us out.
Score
That's what I was mad.
3-3.
Oh, you a little bit,
Sides.
little bit pissed off. Getting no fucking, you know, getting no. Oh yeah, intermission music, right? Fuck, what do I have for you? I have.
Watch your flanks. They might try something.
We should catch up sometime soon.
Why? I already know what you've been up to.
But I don't.
And the problem is?
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I really hate when someone pauses music just before the beat drop. It's really annoying.
Finally, time for some fun.
Gotta work on the positioning there a little bit. So, Spitfire, let's talk about this. But I'm gonna give chat one opportunity to sort of figure out what went wrong here, right? And I'm not doing this to like make fun of you or anything, but chat, what went wrong here? Let's see if chat can figure it out first. What was the main issue? There were essentially two things that went wrong here, right? But I'm gonna see if we can figure out one of them. What went wrong, chat, about this engagement? You didn't hit it from the back. Technically, kinda, right? I guess. You stopped the music. Oh, shut up. No cover. Not really. Doesn't wait for Doom cooldown. Not really that either. Putting your translocator high ground. You're getting close. So, how deadly is a Sombra right here, where the entire enemy team is playing grouped up in front of the payload, right? What happens if you take high ground here? What happens if you take high ground? Who's going to stop you? Look at their team comp. Who is going to stop you? No one. No one's going to stop you. If you play from high ground and you really, really want to take care of the Doomfist, you can legitimately stand in invis and just hack the Doomfist over and over and over again, and he can't do anything, right? You can legitimately just stand in invis and hack him over and over again from high ground, and there's nothing he can do. Nothing. You get that first initial hack in, he's going to take so much damage, he's going to have to move back, right? And you can just sit there and wait. You can play the smart. You don't have to engage. And you can just sit there and just watch the Doomfist get like pecked down over and over and over again, and there's nothing he can do about it. And this would have been great if you actually took the invis, you hacked the health pack inside there, the little thing where the payload is on the left side. You put a translocator around the staircase so they don't see it, and then you kind of walk up on high ground, you sit there, and you just hack the Doomfist every time he tries to go in. So that's how I would have played this, and I think that would have been infinitely better, because right now we hack the Doomfist, and we kind of try to hack him again, but you're kind of standing in the middle and like in front of them, taking damage. You're not going to get the hack off. If anything, if you don't like the high ground idea, what you should be doing is playing around pillars, right? You can play on the left side, where you can take cover from the entire team. If the Doomfist is going to play this aggressive, you can hack him from the side, right? And from that point, they have to go around a corner or go around to stop you, right? But they didn't do either. Instead, they're choosing to play way further back, and the Doomfist is actually kind of feeding right now. So if you were alive and you were permanently hacking the Doomfist, he'd just be dead, and you'd be playing a 5v4 right now, right? So I just want to point out how positioning on Sombra is extremely important, right? And I think that you need to get into your head that high ground on most characters is obviously the right choice to make. There's very few characters, in my opinion, that I think a high ground just doesn't apply. Like, the high ground rule is just so incredibly strong unless you're playing something like a Widow duel, right? And I do think that a lot of people should get into the habit of always constantly trying to find pathways to get to high ground and having an exit, like an escape route if you need to, right? Set up a plan. Like, before the fight starts, set up a plan in your head. Where do you want to be? Okay, I want to play high ground. Okay, cool. What if they engage me? Okay, this is the route I'm going to run, right? And I feel like a lot of the time, a lot of players in various different ranks will just make a play, but they don't really think about it, and they don't really think about where to go before it, the shit starts to hit the fan, right? And I can guarantee you that if you hack the health pack right there, you put a translocator in the stairs, you played high ground, you hack the Doomfist, say the Kiriko jumps up behind you and tries to do anything to you, you translocate to the staircase, take the health pack, and you can just continuously fucking hack the Doomfist, and he can't do anything, right? So it would have been way better, and trying to apply that to your game style when you play Sombra in the future. Right now, I feel like we're kind of opting in, playing kind of random in the middle. Also, chat, I see the ads. Don't worry, we're waiting. Chat, we're waiting. It's all good. Anyways, let's resume.
Always plan an exit. Enemy turret
All right, ads are over. Ooh, you gotta translocate a little bit earlier than that. The moment Doomfist turns to you, you should already like pressing the button.
10 seconds remaining.
Objectives lost.
Never stick around for a kill.
Translocators in place. Catch you later.
Round 3. Score 3-3. Switching sides. Initiating match.
No intermission music. I'm too lazy. I built my feet on the table. I'm sitting like a shrimp. Shrimp chills.
Ready for battle.
You know, sometimes I feel like I'm a slug, right? I'm an actual, like, I'm a snail. You know what I'm saying, chat?
A new world.
I feel like I'm a snail. Because, like, I don't know what it is, but, like, randomly, sometimes at night, I like to get butt naked and hop into a barrel of Vaseline, right?
That a compliment?
And I like to, you know, snail around the house and leave Vaseline trails all over the place, pretending I'm a deadly slug, right? In the middle of the night. And then people wake up and they see like all these Vaseline trails all over the house. And I kind of just chuckle and I go, yeah, that's weird.
5.
Same here, ID. Glad I'm not the only one.
2, 1. Attackers in.
You're welcome, Spitfire. I got you. Okay, we're playing some Metro on defense right now. kind of just want to point out something, chat. I'm gonna point this out, by the way. You guys want to see a very big misplay? You see these? Do you see these turrets right here? You see these turrets? You want to know a big issue? Is that the hitbox of these small fences that they're on is actually so big that they're blocking the turret. Watch this.
The payload is approaching its destination.
So, yeah. You just kind of want to point that out, that they actually did nothing, but yeah.
I offer something more. Thanks.
Okay, to summarize, obviously, in my humble opinion, sir, is that the Sombra gameplay is good. You seem pretty confident on her. And we talked a lot about trying to, like, play a little bit smarter around, you know... Oh, shit. Daisy redeemed. Okay, we got another one lined up. All right, chat, don't worry about it. Can we get a poggers in the chat, dude? These coaching sessions, holy shit. My VoD review will be gifted to It's a Silent Boy. Wow. My mods are giving away VoD reviews to random players in the chat? Damn. Damn. Okay. Wow. Now that's kind of pog, I guess. That's a W. All right. Yeah, so Spitfire, the way I want you to approach, I mean, we talked about this in length, right? Like, Sombra. All right, let me go down the list. We need to think more about high ground. We need to think more about finding opportunities and ways to, you know, hack our targets, but without actually having to be up close and personal. So finding, like, different routes to where we can get the hacks off, but, like, kind of not taking damage at the same time. It's not an easy thing to do, but it comes with time, right? Your aim on Sombra, pretty fucking darn good. I have no complaints about that. EMPs need to get a lot better, though, right? I think that you should look at the EMP and Molten Core sort of like... The fight starts, and then a second in, you kind of pop them, right? That's the way you got to look at it. And that's sort of like how you have to rewire your brain a little bit. Right now, it feels like both Molten Cum and the EMP is kind of used as a mid to late game fight, like a fight ultimate. And I disagree with that. I think both ultimates are as powerful as they can be and at its peak when you kind of engage into the fight. And I think that's the number one thing that I would change about your ult usage, right? I'm not going to talk about the Symmetra. You kind of saw for yourself what the issue was there. In terms of like hacking stuff and leaving your translocator at places, you need to understand that when Cassidy, for example, throws like a sticky nade on you or whatever, you can use the translocator as a means to actually avoid the damage. You can do like a small little leap and then it falls off you and then you take no damage. There were a couple of times there where you got stuck and you didn't do it with translocator off cooldown. I would rather you trying to get a little bit better dodging projectiles like that. Another thing is, I feel like you put your translocators in very obvious places. One thing that is very, very common for Sombra players to do is that they sort of like forget that whenever you use your translocator, it actually gives like a small little shade from where you teleported from, and it kind of gives a directional input to where your translocator was put, right? So if I were you, I would sort of try and hide a little bit better. Right now, we'll hack a health pack and put the translocator straight on the health pack. It's very easy for the enemy team to sort of diminish and figure out where you are when you do that. Instead, what I need you to start doing is I want you to hack something, and then I kind of want you to put your translocator nearby, but not like right on the health pack, and more so in LOS. So if you do need to panic translocate somewhere, it shouldn't be that easy for the enemy team to figure out where you are, right? A lot of the time, we talked about Bastion as well. Bastion is like, we need to find like sightlines and covers and play pillars a little bit smarter. But the number one thing that I feel like that you should work on is that we need to stop pre-popping sentry form every single corner. We need to stop doing that. Instead, take that extra second, pop out, see where the enemy team is in cohesion to you, pop it back in, and then kind of pop sentry form, and then just rain barrage on them if you have to, right? Right now, we're kind of playing it so... We come around a corner, we pop sentry form, we have no idea who's there, and we kind of hope for the best, right? Instead, what you need to understand with sentry form in particular is that it's probably the strongest cooldown in the game, if not a top 3 cooldown. And it's way better if you kind of play around the corner, peek out, see where there are, then make a judgment call. Okay, they're out in the open. I go back, I go out again, sentry form, boom, I have the entire cooldown. Instead, right now, we pop sentry form, we hop out, the enemy team sees you, they go into cover, and you got no kills, and you're kind of standing there with your pants down, right? And another thing that you need to understand is that his grenade is really good for like rocket jumping. If you can go into practice mode and kind of figure out how to rocket jump a little bit better with the grenade, you'll find yourself getting to like high ground much easier. You find yourself like, you know, dodging stuff much easier. His grenade is actually way better than the Helix rocket that you have on Soldier, for example. You can almost get like double the fucking airtime as you can with the rockets from Soldier. I honestly think that's more than fucking enough when it comes to these characters. You play Bastion very aggressive, but if you play a little bit more patient, you'll get a ton more value. And for the love that all that is holy, I summon fish moly. Abuse high ground more, man. There's no high ground plays, almost none at all. Especially if you're gonna play Sombra and you're gonna play sort of like a hack play style, you need to play more high ground. You need to play more high ground. You absolutely have to. Not just on Bastion, but on Sombra too. Anyways, that's my feedback for you. I have a lot more to give you, but I think there's a thing called diminishing returns, and if I'm just gonna sit here and like overly send you so much feedback, it's gonna be too much things to think about. So I think this is good enough for now. I wouldn't be surprised if you integrate this into your gameplay that you start ranking up pretty soon. But work on this, send me back a replay in a couple weeks from now on, and I wouldn't be surprised if you ranked up. So I want to take it from there. Hope you enjoyed that feedback, and yeah, that's the best I can do. Now that's a nodders, poggers, and an easy clap.